Okay, so look at this me gaming star here, and today I am back in an episode of the Greatest Attorney Adventures. Last time we had basically done the investigation, the final investigation of the game, and yeah, this time we're gonna go ahead and start the trial. I don't know if I'm gonna split it into two. Maybe I might do the first part and second part of the trial, and then the last two parts will be split in another episode. So I'm gonna see what I could do. But for now, let's start. Let's go. And also, I got an achievement. I got an achievement on screen. So yeah, I did that because I wanted to kind of get 100%. So I did that. When I awoke the following morning, the sun was already gone. Outside the window, the rain came down in sheets. And so began an even longer day than the last, one that I would have remembered for the rest of my days. Good morning, Gina. I'm determined to prove your innocence today. I'm sure we can do it. So, what is your plan then? Sorry? You know? I in a fancy dress. Susator, whatever you say it, I don't know. Oh, Miss Susato had to leave early this morning. She was already gone by the time I woke up. You already with that, are you? Forget about me if you like. Go off and see it off. It's fine. It's not so Miss Susato and I won't meet again one day. Even so. But you, Gina. You only get one chance. The trials today is all we have. Good morning, you two! How are you feeling, Ginny? Did you manage to sleep? Meow. Iris, what are you doing here? What do you mean? When a friend is in need, we show support. Isn't that right, Waggy? Ah! Waggy! Great way to show support, kitty. Let me if I haven't those around. What are you gonna do it? Oh, that reminds me. Got a paper anyway here. Now, would you like to have good news or the bad news? What do you say, Bruno? Genie? Oh, well, I think I'd rather get the bad news out of the way first. Now, it's the good news first. You might want to live the year of the bad. Yes, that question always gives away people's personalities. That's not better. Alright then, I'll give you the bad news first. A record amount of rain has fallen this morning, and we carriers all over the capital are struggling to move. Huh? That's bad news. Oh, why does it report? And I hope that Susie made her train to Dover, that the train wasn't delayed and made a port. Gosh, yes. Alright then, so what's the good news? Well, the rain is forecast to subside this afternoon, so even if the train's delayed, you'll be able to make it at a later time. Well, that's good news, isn't it? We're gonna give a monkeys, really. If only all the good news cancel out the bad. Oh, this trial has made headlines too. Pawnbrokers perishes in pick purse plunder, see? Oh, you're like that? Well, let's say, what do you want? See if I get it. I can't because you're covering your face. Don't worry, Bruno will show everyone that this headline is nonsense. I will? And then in tomorrow's papers, the headlines will be... Discharged diver and dauntless do-gooder. Isn't that right, Bruno? Oh, yes, let's hope so. Of course they will. I have absolute faith in you. How was that? I was trying to sound like Susie. Did it work, did it? It sounds like she was still here. Today's paper has been added to the court record, thanks. So, let's start. Good luck then, Bruno. I'll do what I can. Obviously, I don't like the law like Susie does, but still. But I'll be by your side the whole time, giving you more support and encouragement. I'm not sure that big thing is going to comfort you, if I can be honest, but thank you, Iris. That's very kind of you. Oh yeah, Iris. Yes, Ginny? Well, I was wondering, about Shorms. Did they fix them up already? Alright? Yes, the operation was a great success. But Hurley still hasn't come back around yet. Eh? I've asked a friend of mine at Scotland Yard to send a telegram as soon as he wakes up. I'm sure Gregson will let us know the moment there's news. Oh, right. Necesito send Mr. Shorms. It's all down to me today to prove that Gina's innocent of this crime. Miss Gina Lestrade, counsel for the defense, the trial's ready to begin. Please make your way to the courtroom. It's fine then. Yes, let's go, Gina. Iris. Lead the way, Bruno. Poor Gina. She's trying to put the brave face, and I can tell she's worried and scared. I have to believe in her to start to finish. That's the weapon that'll secure a victory here. If I learned anything from my great friend, it's that. 10 a.m. Here we go. Alright, let's begin. In the name of Her Majesty the Queen, I hereby declare the court to be in session. This trial shall determine the guilt or innocence of Miss Janila's trade. I now call upon the counsel of prosecution and defense to declare the willingness to proceed. The prosecution is ready. The defense is ready. Lord Van Zieks. My lord, remind me how many years was that you withdrew the public prosecution service? It was some 5 years ago, my lord. Yes, and then 2 months ago you resurfaced somewhat unexpectedly, and here you are again. And there's some circumstances which the court should be aware that led to his erratic behavior. In what might describe as your former life 5 years past, you dealt exclusively in matters concerned with the highest equals of society and government. Really? Yet today, you choose to try a simple case of burglary or murder. I confess I find it more than a little befuddling, Consul. There are 2 types of persons I cannot abide. Firstly, those wealthy scoundrels who hide behind a mask of philanthropy to cheat the public at large. He means Mr. McGilded. Who you defended against the Reaper 2 months ago? Yes, I just about managed to work that out, thank you. Magnus McGilded. If I know the monster he was, I would never have defended him. And secondly, even more loathsome. Those willy scoundrels who masquerade as allies only to effect total betrayal in the final hour. In other words, the confidence tricksters in those tiny islands of the Far East. The Nipponese. What? Did he really just say that? He means you, Bruno. I actually managed to work that out too. Thank you, Edis. Total betrayal? What are you talking about? That torrid look of hatred in Lord Van Ziek's eyes. Is that directly solely at me, or was he talking about all Japanese people? Zolar misgiving explanation, Lord Van Zieks. Still, the judiciary welcomes the return of so-called Reaper the Bailey, created by London malefactors. Your lordship is too kind. Now, jurors, the 6 of you have been selected at random presented will the people of this trial. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 familiar faces. 5 familiar faces. One of them we've seen in episode 2, not actually, but you know, in a newspaper article. Russian. Revolutionary. Yeah. It's just the old man being a surgeon. Others just being, like, again, we have like 5 familiar faces here. One is, I don't know. Former lieutenant of British Army here. Don't you know, chaps like me were born ready. Clean crockery, clean cutlery, and clean conscience. His lordship's motto is very appropriate here, I think. Everything will be stereoscopic in the future. Absolutely, absolutely everything, and I'm ready for it. I don't understand it. I can't have left it here as possible, but I could have. Woman indispensable in society. Stop. Female-centric future. Wait. Stop. A little rat. Good day. I'm visiting London for sightseeing. Would like to take a bus to Crystal Tower, please. Why is a tourist here as a juror? That's not a good sign. Is something wrong, Bruno? Oh, not exactly. It's just... all these are familiar. I'm fairly sure I recognize these jurors. Almost all of them, in fact. Yeah, that's what I just said. Really? Funny coincidences like that do happen from time to time, don't they? But it is quite strange. The jurors are chosen at random from London's 6 million inhabitants, you know. Random? I call that bullshit! So I've been led to believe. But something tells me I'm getting duped. Very well. Now, Lord Van Zieks, the court calls upon the prosecution to introduce the facts of the case. As you wish, my lord. Allow me to begin with a word of warning to the ladies and gentlemen of the jury. In short, there have never been more self-evident case of cold-blooded murder. The victim, Mr. Pop Windybank, proprietor of the pawn shop on Baker Street, was shot from behind and died instantly. The prosecution presents a photographic print of the crime scene. Yeah, and the court will observe there is a single bullet wound just below the gentleman's left shoulder. The evidence suggests that the bullet pierced the man's heart, resulting in his near-instant death. Moving to the findings of Scotland Yard's coroner, his report states that the bullet entered the body on a rising diagonal trajectory. And what's that supposed to tell us? It means the victim was likely shot by someone significantly shorter in height than himself. Someone like the accused, you might say. Oh! The prosecution wishes to present the autopsy report and crime scene photograph as evidence, my lord. Indeed, the court accepts. Hand them over to the bailiff, please. The autopsy reports of Scotland Yard confirms death due to a single bullet wound from the back. There are no other signs of trauma. And a crisis photograph, so thank you. I now ask the court turn its attention to this planned establishment where the incident occurred. Okay. The proprietor was found in the storeroom where he kept articles pawned to him. The windowless room with a single point of entry. A door in the main shop was found locked. In the sealed chamber, there were only 2 persons present. The victim, Mr. Windybank, and the accused. It may further interest the court to know that when the accused was discovered in the scene, she had in her hand the gun they used to fire the fatal bullet. Well, that's that then, isn't it? Nothing more to say. Isn't that grubby little girl a pickpocket anyway? She's the one who's filthy from the slums. Oh well, it was only a matter of time before she got blood in her hands then. What are the jurors waiting for? The girl's guilty as hell. We can't jump to conclusions here. We mustn't assume her guilt because of what she has to do to survive. My learned Nipponese friend, it's you who mustn't jump to conclusions. The prosecution has barely begun presenting its case. What? Conveniently, the appalling act of murder did not go unobserved. There were witnesses. Good gracious! Oh yeah, after their testimony, this girl's true nature will be exposed. Pitiful pick-purse or cold-hearted killer. Here's to establishing the truth. The court will take the floor plan and firearm into evidence. Hand them to the bailiff, please, for Van Zeeks. At once, my lord. The crime scene photograph and Winnie Bank's revolver. A gun belonged to the victim the Gina was holding when she was found unconscious. There were signs of a single discharge. This isn't good. I feel like a mood here just turned very gloomy all of a sudden right now. I think that's because it has. Let us begin. Bring forth the witnesses of the foul murder of Mr. Pop Winniebank on the 16th of April of this year. It's literally Mario and Luigi. And Gregson. Search your names, occupations for the court. It's just 2 Luigis and 1 Mario. Do not tell me twice, it's 2 fucking Luigis. Maeve Nash Skulkin, occupation, body. Professional body. I'm trying to kind of do like a mixture. Next name goes Skulkin, occupation's same as him. Tobias Gregson, Scotland, you are the spectre. A fun fact, Ringo and Ash, apple and pear in Japanese. So, yeah, it's pretty obvious. I mean, they're literally holding it. I mean, okay, so Ringo means apple in Japanese, and Nash, well, you know, pear. So really, yeah, it's pretty obvious. I mean, they're holding the, I mean, it's pretty fucking obvious. I don't have to say much with their names. That's way cool. The 3 Skulkin brothers. Bro. Why do you look at me like that? We're not big with you lot. God blimey, that's God. Don't you know what we're going for? It's out of the bruv. Lost contact with him and have. So we're scouting every shady corner of the capital. And then last night we came across you. The very split of the block. Ain't that right, Ringo? Hey, Nash, is the very split of them. So I decided that what it was we were gonna do. And what we was gonna call ya. Big bruv Skulky. Come on, leave it on you two. Skulkin. Now that's before he runs out of chips. Well, the Inspector Sulky Gregson. Begging your pardon, my lord, but the name's Tobias. Like, the Inspector is what you're doing, witness stand. The Skulkin brothers are currently under arrest, my lord, suspicion of theft. Thieves, are they? These 3. No, my lord! Begging your pardon, don't lump me with these lot. 2 nights ago, these brothers illegally entered an establishment with intent to burgle. And in the course of their nefarious activities, they became embroiled in far more sinister crime. By Jove, you mean to say an extraordinary coincidence? Indeed, my lord. While attempting to burglarize the pawnbrokery, they witnessed the proprietor's murder. I love how Ringo's so short he needs a stand. Order! I love that. That's actually how I draw Mario and Luigi. Seriously though, I actually draw Mario and Luigi just like that. That's how I do it. I'm not joking. That's how I do it. I just draw Mario super fucking short and Luigi like super fucking tall. I'm not kidding though. That's how I do it. Bear trespass these brothers are subject to today's proceedings. They will naturally face trial in the very near future. I love the details like that. For lordship's permission, I like to remain in the stand to keep these gents straight and narrow. Of course, Inspector. Spectacles I am, but the caliber of these witnesses, I'll permit you to take the stand. Mr. Skulkin, you will not testify before the court. Describe the events of the night in question and what exactly you saw. Happy to! Happy to! Cause a Skulkin, never a Skulkin! Eh! Eyebrows! Get out of it! Oh, I love these two though. I seriously love these two. God. Illegal entry. We was walking down Baker Street in small hours. At the Gaff's door was ajar, see? It was like some kind of sign begging for us to go in, it was. But once we got inside, God blimey, Lammy, we had the gunshot from the back room. We went to see what was what, and the door was locked from inside. We never done nothing, governor. We took nothing. We just left that nice and quiet. I'm doing mine and Luigi's voices with like a bit of a twist. So it's their voices, but like with a twist in it. So I'm trying to kind of like differentiate from mine and Luigi's voice, but with a difference. So I'm trying to do that. Terrible coincidence of the scene. The precise moment of his creams entered the property, a more sinister crime was afoot. The witness's testimony is consistent with the crime scene in every detail. Well, they shot Sholmes. The door provided access to a storeroom from the main, and shop was indeed locked from the inside, and within, only the victim and the accused were found. I must say, it does appear to be a overwhelmingly simple case. Still, the defense may cause someone to witness now. Counsel, if you please. Counsel? Yes. What's the matter, Reno? Sorry, I was just stunned this answer a minute by the blatant lies being told by the parent to the stand. I know it's all nonsense because I saw it with my own eyes. I'd have to expose their testimony to the pack of lies it is. So if you want to, so there's an achievement you can get. It's called Sulky's Story. So if you want to know about Sulky, the third brother, you have to press any of the statements, and pursue any of the brothers. Doesn't really matter which, but they'll tell you a bit more about the brothers. So let's do that. I never had those achievements. So let's do it. Hold it. In front of the window makes you say it was a jar. You say at night must have been about one. Right, Ringo? Yeah, it's alright, Sulky. How would I know? The place would have been done in the morning. It's downtown. Well, it was pitch black inside through, ain't I, Ringo? I'm not so sure, Nash. It seems to remember a little light better inside. What about you, Sulky? Wall marker. I want to go to him. Leave me alone. There are definitely a small lump burning in. Was already a station place. And when they showed to Ben venture in the open establishment, the accused was used straight into the But that is pure conjecture. Perhaps, but nothing changes. These brothers are rarely wandered in the middle of a cold-blooded murder, simply because they found the door to the victim's establishment open and ventured inside. Right, that's what happened. So even if the other doesn't react, you have to pursue.
Excuse me.
Mr. Ringo Skulkin, do you have something to add? Eh? What? Something that's just that years ago thinking. Oh, well, yeah, I was just thinking maybe bit of sulky. Oh, so you want to touch with? Yeah, blimey. Gotta be saints sometimes, that one. Always used to give me a shed of a grub when we had anything to eat. He sounds like a very kind man. Get out of it! These chips are mine! I'm not sharing! So you have to do this with both brothers. It was like kind of sign begging for it to go away, and it was. So we have to press them, and then we have to do it for both. So we have to do it for both brothers. We already went to pursue Ring, and now we have to pursue Ren next. Well, good moves. God moves in mysterious ways, don't they, Ringo? They do, Nash. They do. It must have been some sort of depraved inside I can. So let's pursue again, and then we get this achievement. Mr. Nash Skulkin, you have something to add? Eh? What? Something that just appears to go thinking. Oh, well, yeah, just about me thinking me brov, Skulky. Oh, the one you lost touch with? Yeah, good. It would be a right nasty piece of work sometimes, that one. Always used to nap some shit to be grub when we had anything to eat. He does sound like a very mean man. Oi! Why do you look at me like that for, sunshine? But once we have a go blimey, we had a gunshot from the back room. So that's the achievement. You have to do that. And now let's actually get on with it. I just wanted to show the achievement because I actually never got it before, so I wanted to do that. Let's go. Say number 5. That's 4. 5. Never done nothing, governor. We took nothing. We just let that run nice and quiet. Bullshit! I saw it with my own eyes. You didn't do or take anything. Is that your story? Well, it was Ben Lamsoon. We don't want it. It was, Nash. It was. Didn't even have time to pull me tooks out the Lucy lockets. So, with no time to take your hands out of your pockets, just left nice and quietly, you say. That's right, Governor. Nothing we ain't more than the violence. Peace, loving neighbors we are. No bunch letters. We are, Nash. We are. And never even pulled me dukes out the Lucy lockets. So, you clearly like us to believe. Eh? Come again. As you fled from the pawnbrokers last night, did you or did you not run into anyone else? I don't know what you're talking about. Did you not fire a gun at that person? Man, Mama, Saints alive, they fired a gun, you say? Yeah! Blimey, Governor. You ain't telling us. It was you in the doorway. It was... I don't believe they don't mention that before. You were armed with a gun, and it was you fled the scene. You fired that gun at London's greatest detective, Herlock Sholmes. They shot the great Mr. Sholmes? I didn't hear that, actually. There was a rumor he'd been rushed to the hospital. To the great Sholmes? That's beyond pale. On the night in question, this pair were arrested by the police of a minute's discovery in the crime scene. Their suspicious continues rapidly gave them away. And then searched. A firearm was indeed found in their possession. Furthermore, the barrel shows signs of shot having been fired from it. The prosecution invites his lordship to examine the firearm recovered by these brothers. Yes, indeed. Remnants of powder around the muzzle, as you say, counsel. The rat. The court will hold this weapon as evidence. Skulkin brothers' gun has been interred. Firearms possession is there are signs of single round was fired. Okay, thank you. Now, my learned Nipponese friend. Yes? Here's to your successful presenting the evidence. Successfully presenting the evidence. For yes, there are telltale signs. Gunpowder in the gun, a single bullet missing from the cylinder. But the prosecution demands evidence of the fire to the scene of the crime when there's scrutiny in a trial. So let me check the gun. So we have two different guns now. So this is Windy Bank's gun. This is the revolver that he's used. I'm gonna get demonetized. Whatever, I don't make money out of it. This is Windy Bank's gun. The cylinder's completely empty. Windy Bank always keeps his gun out of hands. Con shop. So that's his gun. And then we have the Skulkin brothers' gun. The only one was fired. It's the revolver, 6 cylinders. You have to tell us if a single shot's been fired from it. Exactly. I'll make those brothers pay. So, yeah, we have their gun possession.
Objection.
I don't need evidence. Scene of the crime, screening the trial. Well, I don't need evidence because I was there. However, the rest of us in the courtroom were not. That's true. If the defense fails to provide evidence to support this rash claim, we shall have no choice but to toast your incompetence and to move on. Evidence that these two fired a gun before they left Windy Banks that night. I have an idea. The court demands proof of fair proof. What evidence shows that witnesses unloaded a firearm to pawnbrokers that night? The blood samples, because we saw that we know Fry's fired Mason has purple blood, and Pop Windybank has blue blood. But whose is the green blood? But whose has the greeny blood? Blood samples.
Take that.
This evidence in the portfolio. I wonder if you have their counsel. During the course of the investigations, we discovered a number of bloodstains. Not trusting the police do the job they're trained to do. How arrogantly Nipponese of you. Well, anyway, we analyzed all the blood samples we found and recorded these results in a portfolio. And you claimed that evidence in the court's demanding fair. Yes, my lord. No more dallying, counsel. Present the permanent evidence at once. What sample portfolio provides evidence of firearm? It was the first sample.
Take that.
Obviously. What does that explain? As a photographic print taken at Windy Bank's pawnbroker the day of the incident. From the scene of the crime, is it? Yes, exactly. Is that bullet hole? And the eyes do not deceive me. It appears the bullet is still lodged there. Yes. Yes, and your lordship noticed. The bullet pierced open Windy Bank's calendar. The date shown being that 16th of April, the very day of the pawnbroker's death. Midnight. The incident occurred 1 hour after midnight. Exactly. But it indicates a separate shot had been fired sometime after the calendar was set the 16th. That's right. And while it isn't infuriable, the defense believes this is credible evidence the witness did fire a round at the gun at pawnbrokers last night. Ah! I love how short Ringo. Look at how fucking short. Odd! How does the prosecutor stand Lord Van Zeeks? If that is the direction my learned friend wishes to take, the prosecution has no objection. What? Oh, there goes one. But you'll forgive me for filling in my hollow chalice aside and disgusted repugnancy and exposes. Yes, on the night in question, these brothers entered the pawnbrokery illegally. And like the bold baddies they claim to be, opened fire on the new arrivals before fleeing back to the street. Yeah! Take it easy there, Governor. What are you gonna let us assume? We had a deal. You weren't gonna get into the details. Tell him, Sulky. Set the bloke straight. I have nothing to add. So he knew, did he? Van Zeeks knew their testimony would certainly expose their extent to the crimes. It would seem now that I owe my learned Nipponese friend a word of gratitude. What do you mean? What I mean is that you have heavily confirmed an important fact. To what fact do you refer, Lord Van Zeeks? As has been established, at the point of their arrest, a single shot had been fired from the brother's gun. However, if that shot found its target, Mr. Sholmes, then clearly these witnesses cannot be accused of the fatal shooting, the proprietor and the victim. Ah! That's true, actually, yeah. In other words, these two men have no material connection to the murder of Mr. Winnebank at all. So that's it. That's it. We didn't do nothing with it. We did it, Nash. We did it. That's what I reckon. Your crimes induce unlawful entry, intent to steal, perjury, and let us not forget attempted murder. Quite a catalog, yeah, fellas. What even now, bruv? Now then, let us take a moment to consider the aforementioned great detective, Mr. Herlock Sholmes. It would seem that the man patronized the pawnbroker in question somewhat regularly. Where's he going with this? Mr. Sholmes appears to take pleasure in tinkering with eccentric machinery. Eccentric, says who? Not me. Do not give me that look. He installed a pair of machines at this one detective's shop. Oh, that's the one in Hurley's right-handed recorders. What is that, Consul? It appears photographic contraption. As your lordship has summarized, indeed a camera that attached to a small, tiny device. Every half an hour, it automatically photographs the interior of the establishment. The idea being the thief were to break the shop, it would be caught red-handed. The prosecution has obtained the photographs, taken the device in night in question. That's a lot of pictures. Hold on. Nothing too out of the ordinary here. As the court will observe, copies of identical prints are produced in quite distorted fashion. 9:30, and then just keeps going. Then rather particularly, I feel. In fact, there are two such devices in the victim's shop, my lord. If I may refer to the court to the premises, receptive positions are here and here. Oh, you say the cameras produce every half an hour? I'm afraid to fail to see how that would help to anticipate thief conduct its activities in the 30-minute intervals. One can only pray that the would-be criminal lingers, my lord. On the night in question, if witnesses currently stand, were not caught on camera. Hey, that's a bit of a fair talk, eh, bruv? Lady Luck loves a Skulkin. Witnesses, what a time did you just trespassing begin? Must have been just after 1, right, bruv? Must have been, Nash. Must have been, yeah, just gone 1. In which case, minutes before these brothers entered the establishment. Oh my god. What scene might we expect to see within the shop? Let us examine the evidence. Oh! Good lord! It's the defendant! This cheaterless trade! Oh no. Oh no, yep, we're fucked. As the court can clearly see, at 1 a.m. exactly, the accused is pictured gun in hand facing the victim over the shop counter. No doubt continuing the proprietor to open the door to the storeroom. Quite! One can only easily imagine the events that unfolded. The court will take the photographic print as evidence if you please, counsel. Oh, yeah, you're fine. Oh, fuck off. I don't believe it, Ginny. In short, The accused is only one person who could possibly have killed Mr. Windybank. Ah! Are you fucking with me? I say, my lord. Oh, wonder if I might put in a word at this point. Go ahead, Mr. Foreman. Ah! Take a bally bull in the knee in the battle of my wand in 1880. Don't you know? Decorated for it all, lad, but forced to retire from service, sadly. Of course, a medal can never outshine the exploits of chaps like us in the battlefield. Yes, Mr. Foreman, and exactly what's your point? Carried on the battle after retirement, you see, daily life as you like. And here I am now, laying this small squadron, 6 men, all good and true. The world and together, we mark my words, one for all, and all for one. Oh God. Yeah, that picture is. The ladies and gentlemen of the jury have reached agreement, have they? Is that what we understand? Well, Mr. Foreman, is that correct? In a manner of speaking, yes. It's his geared up squadron's position, sir. What? No! It's just to make a judgment here! Status report to the court, men. On the double! His lordship insists on prompted at all times, and that goes for making decisions, too. Oh, I think if I had the troops clear as day now, I could reach out and touch it. Oh, I wouldn't have left it in there, just wouldn't all of us can actually remember. Situation clear, stop. No room for doubt, stop. Truth now undeniable. Stop. I'm very sorry for brothers. They are unlucky. Oh, very well. I now call upon each member of the jury to still his the matter. Announce your considered verdicts of the court.
Guilty. Guilty.
Guilty. Guilty.
Guilty. I love the way he says it. So I love that. God, no, we are fucked. Yeah, we're fucked, boys. We have to have a summation. This does indeed appear the jury's anonymously. That photograph! It must be definitive evidence to Greg's allegations. But Jane didn't shoot him. No, of course not. My lord, the defense was to assert his rights to summation examination. Very well. The court grants permission. So you refuse to admit defeat again? How? Unsurprising. Shall proceed immediately to summation examination. Mr. Foreman, are members of the jury ready? Absolutely, sir. Always ready for action, my chaps. Very good. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, you will explain each of the grounds you have determined to defend to be guilty. Oh, sweet mother. Alright, let's go. Woo! Woo-wee! Judicial findings. Here we go. Judicial conclusions. All the evidence clearly points the finger to Gilda's young pickpocket Tiny. As a housemaid, I should see all filthy eyes was probably rigorously eliminated. That doesn't really match. I think you'll find a look on the photograph in stereo, the truth will just pop out. If I have left in there, I would have think there would be repercussions by now. Number 2 is, it's not very specific. Mind made up, stop. Global radio transmission, a verdict to follow, stop. And mother lang we say never judge by clothes, judge by head. I'm come with the brothers are innocent. I love him, bro. Oh my god. Look at this is the crime and the evidence are clumsy rather different comprehensively. The stereo was locked on the inside in which the victim and the accused were discovered alone. And in the accused's hands fatal revolver, the firing which is heard as witnesses. Not to mention this print! Take the chap for those action on the battlefield, those young girls virtual pulling the bally trigger! Thanks a lot, Mr. Sholmes. Oh dear, her these cameras are supposed to help, not hinder. I'm afraid I think I may help struggling ahead of you. But Gina didn't shoot Mr. Windybank. Which means there's one situation we have yet to see. Agreed. Yeah, the floor counsel proceeds with the examination. Alright, let's go. Defendant's rebuttal. Okay, let's press number 2 because we don't know exactly what the fuck she's talking about, so let's have more specifics on her. Polishing the bench, I see. Again. A day's work is never done. Not a Belmish supposed to remain. What exactly do you mean by filthy eyesores? On my way to market his lordship, I have to pass through the East End. The place is full of beggars, pickpockets, and crossmen. The scum of the earth. A little harsh, perhaps. Let me be plain. If I were up to me, all those back sons would be made stick and span and eradicated. Okay! Let's see how people like the great detective working to achieve these important goals. You're referring to Mr. Herlock Sholmes. That's right. It's like to keep Brewster's exploits from reading Randall's magazine between my duties. He does wonders cleaning up London streets. In my opinion, he should be declared honorary maid of the capital. Mr. Sholmes, a maid. It really is quite unforgivable. Gutter scum having the audacity to shoot our very greatest detective. Minor detail. It was the two brothers who stand and shot Mr. Sholmes not to defend it. A minor detail indeed. They're all gutter scum as far as I'm concerned. Well, it just might be indeed a gutter faction anyway. Yes, alright. I shall amend my statement. Those brothers are the scum of the earth. They swing the shit in the great detective. That has nothing to do with Gina, so it's kind of wrong. Now, let's do number 6 together. In motherland, we say never judge by clothes, judge by head. I'm convinced brothers are innocent. These brothers are scum of the earth. They should have swing the shit in the great detective. So we have to pit number 6 and 2 together.
Objection!
Objection! These two statements could contradict each other. Good lord! Counsel, explain yourself. Oh my statement contradictory? Yes, contradict. It only doesn't know English. Juror number 6, we got it wrong on the stick. I do not have stick, I have mouse. Bro! Juror number 2, I love how he takes everything literal. When Skulkin brothers fled the scene of the night in question, they fired a shot with a revolver. Yes, they shoot poor Mr. Sholmes in the abdomen, I understand. Surely you're not going to tell the court that you didn't hear. Abdomen. Sir. Sorry. My English is still learning. You are telling the court you didn't hear? I love that little mouse. Forgive me, I did not hear. Ugh. Here is where abdomen, part of the person's body containing stomach and other vital organs. It is what you mean. You say in plain English. I'm Russian, not native speaker. Who thought it was a good idea to let this man be on the jury again? I don't know. So, you are telling me these brothers who look like criminals were lying? Yes! They said before we never done nothing, but truth is they shot detective. That is double negative. Yes, that's exactly right. Oh my god. You're squeezing the poor Mickey. Lying in front, especially when lied by a person who looks like a criminal. You're squeezing Mickey. Coming from you, you seem surprisingly prejudiced. This means when they said we never took nothing, maybe it was also a big fat lie. Is it true? Well, according to the police report, no stolen goods were found, so... Enough! I trust no one now. It's not Mouse's fault. No, sir. I must see with my own eyes. I must investigate crime scene myself. I'm afraid I won't be passing. Yes, it is, Reno. Easily. Sorry. But the prints of Hurley's red-handed corner. If you compare the print to the pictures Ginny next printed half an hour later, you'll be able to see straight away if anything was taken or not. Cooey, Mr. Prosecutor! Calling on the prosecution in the middle of a summation examination of all times. I love it. Pretty sure when the accused finding the victim also had broken the shop. This is this one. Oh, thank you. Give it to me. I need it. I need a Van Zinks. I fucking need it. Following this, the victim and the accused moved into the storeroom. Meanwhile, the Skulkin brothers entered the shop and Summary heard a fatal gunshot ring out. Sadly, none of these events were captured on film, and his prints produced a camera later in brothers' fight. So this was taken Hurley at was shot then. As far as I can tell, nothing has been taken. It does seem to be the case. But wait! I just noticed something kind of like shifted a little. I can't notice anything's obviously missing in the second print. So we're gonna have to keep the second print. So the brothers look like criminals, told only one lie. They shot a man, but this told nothing. It would seem so, yes. Good. No, not good! You were right. I do not understand the situation. Because you're Russian! I do not know brothers have lied. Things very important to continue the trial. Bonk. the little mouse. God damn it. Oh no. Yay, we have how the balance is shifting. Well, it's a start, I suppose. But there must be one more, and those jurors are saying he's exposed the truth. Anyway, I can do that. We must turn the situation of so favor. Thank you, counsel. Oh, I love how they have a fucking criminal in their jurors. That is the funniest shit. Kylie had new photographic evidence of the bailiff as evidence. Thank you. So we'll check that out. Another print of the court record. We have a lot of prints. Alright, so let's go ahead and check them out. I'm Lake of Lies, I'm a detective. We must find truth what I say, not guilty verdict. Let me check something. Okay. Wait. Yeah, I'm noticing something. Okay, so like, look very, very closely. Okay, so look at the position, right? Nice, so the positioning. Yeah, it shifted a little. Yeah, it shifted. Just a bit. Like, this entire thing over here shifted just a bit. Like, it shifted. Like, just a bit. It shifted to the side. Look. See what I mean? Kind of like shifted. Yeah, it like shifted a little. I'm noticing that. It kind of like shifted a little bit. So here's the photograph of the scene at the exact time. And then here's the post-shooting. This did move. Look closely. And the door. Look closely at the door too. See this. Okay, here's something. See the door. There's no thing here. There's no like little door. It only shows up after the shooting. Look, it only shows up afterwards. That's interesting. So we're gonna have to keep that in mind for later. Now let's go press juror number 5 because she... Global transmission of radio to verdict to follow. Stop. Hey, can you be more specific, please?
Hold it!
Sorry, radio transmission. Please be more specific. What do you mean? Are you from Far East? Stop. Yes, from the Empire of Japan. All communication with Far Eastern nations used to take place by mail. Royal Mail Streamers took nothing months to complete a journey. Ah, but now we have the electric telegram, so we can send messages using electric signals. Thousands of miles cables has been laid along ocean beds connecting the entire world. Thousands of miles of cable on the ocean bed? My head just hurts thinking about that. You are well informed, young lady. Hee. The cables will soon become a thing of the past. Stop. And just when I was trying to catch it. Radio transmissions in the future. Stop. Messages carried over airways to 4 corners of the globe. Stop. Exciting growing. Stop. Atmosphere centric. Stop. Right. Try not to wear out your fingers. Era of the world's telegraph. Stop. Driving technological revolution. Stop. The people say inventions like the stereoscope are the height of the technology. What utter piffle. I can understand it. Really, I can't. Bunch of silly toys.
Excuse me.
Excuse me? I'm kind of pissed. Juror number 3. Sorry to interrupt when you're obviously fuming, but... What?! Do you ever have something to say about the juror number 5's last remark? As if it couldn't guess. Oh, I bet I do! Say that again! Go on! I dare ya! Goodness, are you talking to me? I think we've just seen my beaches. Yes. You think stereoscopes are just toys, do you, huh? Absolutely. I mean, really? A machine to view photographs in 3 dimensions? Why on earth wouldn't I just use your eyes to look at the world around you? It's all 3-dimensional. I mean, she isn't wrong! What a great way to appease the man. No, I'm sorry. Stereoscopes are not practical use at all. You just don't know! Pardon? I think you'll find the viewing a photograph through a stereoscope can unlock all sorts of possibilities. Obviously going to have to demonstrate some sort of possibilities. Well, take a crime scene for example. You have a pair of photographs of a crime scene that could be viewed through a stereoscope. It can be a hidden clues you never even noticed before. What? Have you got any, Bruno? Get the stereoscope? Absolutely. About the sprint here? New trick.
Take that!
Alright then, juror number 3. Are you familiar with suitable photographic prints? Of course I can. Very well then, I'd like you to demonstrate. I'm delighted to. One more print to be amaze you all.
Take that!
Alright, these 2 prints were taken at the same time with the camera when the event's live. My question. Yes, I see. Tell me, Mr. Lawyer. Do you know how stereographic images work? Do you understand the principle? Yes, I do. Well, I think so. I have a level yesterday. The left and right eye images are the same, only the slight shift in the position of some objects. Yeah, of course. And then when you put them together, it comes into one. When your brain merges the 2 items together inside your head, the shift is depth. Or you could just have a video. But that didn't exist, you know, did it? Yes, exactly. And that small shift determines objects, so it's really important. So what happens when you put the exact the same? No, obviously that wouldn't work at all, not seeing new dimensions anyway. Oh! Oh! Of course, now I see it. I think the young girl discovered a secret. I have. Can you uncross your eyes before you tell me? Have another look at these photographs of Harley's camera, Bruno. Go on. Yeah, it's just shifted a little. Can you see there's an obvious difference between them? Yeah, the door. Of course there is. The two people in the first, no people in the second, and the door. Well, yes, you can see it straight away, but now, try looking at the picture in 3 dimensions. Alright, let's give it a go. So, start with, you have to cross your eyes and try to make the 2 pictures overlap exactly. Let's see if crossing my eyes I can make the quill pens in each picture overlap in the middle. Wait. Well, did you manage to see it properly, Bruno? Did I? It doesn't matter really which option. I honestly kind of already did without even using crossing eyes, so I kind of did. Ah! What's going on with those 2 pictures? Yeah, the thing moved. That's what I noticed. Some of the things in the corner sort of jump out. Look! I freaking love how Vansing just has the machine and just goes. I love that. That's the other amazing power of stereoscopes. Utter amazing power. Is someone going to explain this black magic game? Why do some of the things in the corners jump out like that? I think you'll find that consider basic principles of stereoscope answering the question. Basic principles of stereoscope. As I said before, if you try to look at the identical pictures of stereoscope, it won't work at all. With the slight shift in the position of certain objects, it's dimension perfectly. In other words, even though at first glance these objects in the corner haven't moved at all between the pictures, actually, I have seen it already. I have seen it. I tried to just like put the 2 together and I saw it already, so I didn't even try. So I said, actually, there must have been a slight shift in the positions. Yes, there must have been. I freaking love how even the judge was doing it. Now hold fire there, sir. You got a reasonable guess for the whole cross-eyed business now, I'd say. But why the devil does the shift between 2 prints exist in the first place? Very well, that's the answer, fellow. Come on, get a cross-eyed master. What? Me? I have the first idea. You know, Bruno, it's quite simple. It is. Just think of this my step. The first photograph was taken at 1 a.m. And then 30 minutes later, the second photograph was taken. But the positions of items of the counterparts have shifted slightly in interim. So that means that sometime half-an-hour interval, someone must have tampered with the things of the counter. Zulkers! Someone tampered! New information. Stop. Not mentioned testimony so far. Stop. Yes. We've seen it all around circles a little here, it seems. But I'm starting to see what I should be aiming for at this summonation examination now. Ladies and gentlemen, the question is now clear. We know the items on the countertop were moved by whom? The Skulkin brothers. Are you suggesting you might know? The Skulkin brothers, that's pretty obvious. Of course. I can tell you right now, responsible for almost the principal items on the counter. Skulkin is 26 and Ringo's 27. Of course, younger and older, obviously. A professional baddie by trade. I love how they both had the same description, but just like slight differences. So, either Skulkin brother doesn't really matter, so we're gonna go with Ringo. It was said this currently understand the Skulkin brothers. Wait! This does not agree with the brothers said testimony before. They said they did not have to pull the dukes from Lucy Lockets. My Facebook says dukes is meaning hands and Lucy Lockets meaning pockets. Bro, I love you. But this is another lie? Is that what you're saying? The poor mouse. That's what right so. But hold on there a minute, you can be sure of that? I quite agree. The accused is kind of perfectly perhaps of all the things that does she might steal. I think that's unlikely. Why exactly? As you can see from the photographic print, the defendant was pointing the gun at the victim. It would seem that Learned Fan indicated that the course Mr. Wynn make it open the storeroom. In other words, Mrs. Troy's interest lay within the storeroom, not the main shop, giving her no reason to touch anything on the counter. All of which points to one thing! The Skulkin brothers have omitted key facts in their testimony. But the accused is a pick purse. Come and gutter trash. Look at the further wrongdoer here. Because the Skulkin brothers are thieves, madam. No better, in fact, worse than a pick purse. I believe that she wants to commit genocide on every single poor person in the universe, let's be honest here. First, looking for something in the victim's counter that night. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, it will condemn the defendant to the grounds that she's a pickpocket. Would it not at least be proper to thoroughly scrutinize testimony given against the 2 thieves? Well said. Old man. I for one would likely hear more shady pick. I love how he just bonks his head. That's so good. He just goes bonk. See that now? I pick up stereoscopes aren't playthings. You see extraordinary potential firsthand. Mario, come here, boyo. Come here, baby. Come here, come here. I love how he just bounces it because of glue. Wholeheartedly agree. Stop. Must purchase after trial. Stop. We'll return home via Regan Street. Stop. Well, it would seem that this trial is yet to run its course. Listening to the managerial have declared their intentions via the mighty scales of justice. I hereby call examination conclusion with the balance altered in defendant's favor. To lean guilty, for lean to not. Accordingly, the jury will file consensus. Order this trial to continue. Yay, well done. Oh, by the way, what? We should hold on to this room now. You never know when you might become useful. Twice soon, trial unusual. Surely both, right? Device last seeing in 3 dimensions is eyepieces. Lord Van Zeeks, you will instruct the witnesses the court demands additional testimony from them. I'm sure I won't spoil the bouquet to do so, my lord. I've won myself another chance to prop the pair the activities of the land at least. I won't stop probing until I find out if you want to distant. Alright. So, how about we go ahead and like Alright, so let's see what I can do here. I think we're gonna continue. And then we'll stop when the third part comes in. Order, please. Let us resume proceedings. Witnesses, you will now retake the stand. All right. Oh, you sweating bullets. I presume you heard the defense counsel's nomination examination. Oh, yeah, Governor. I did, I did. Mr. and Mr. Skulkin. Blimey! This is going to be hard work. Oh, let's get this over with. Earlier in this trial, you gave the following testimony about your actions near to Windy Banks. Well, it was bad, so I was worried it. It was, Nash. It was. Didn't even have time to pour me dukes and not me lossy lockets. However, that was a lie. Your brothers! God, blimey! On the night in question, you rifled through items in the victim's counter. We never done nothing of the sort. How do you figure that out? Oh, I love these two. Now I get formal testimony once again. You will tell the court precisely what happened on the night in question. At this time, you will tell the truth. Each light up as your lip serves increase the severity of your punishment. Oh. And that, gentlemen, may deal crushing blood which is never seen the light of the day again. A thought worth pondering, perhaps? Say no more, God, we heard ya! We blow, you speak, we bitch! Alright, illegal entry, the whole truth. Here we go. Is it really? Alright, we did knock a few things over, but we wanted everything for nothing. It wasn't we added a gunshot, see? Made us both jump and all that stuff with flying. Blimey, I didn't give a half a right. We was thinking the shooter come out the door and get us next. Speaking of Luigi, it was Luigi. We stuck everything and we found it and scrapped it straight into the black. We could have shot the bomb broker, see? We never even had a chance, did we? Did we now? Well, we sure as hell didn't. Yeah, bloody hell we didn't. So we admit the defense's accusation. You did indeed ransack Mr. Winbeck's countertop on the night in question. Not ransacked, Governor. No. That's right, Nash. That's right. It's more like we tidied up. Yeah. Sorry. By their own admission, these brothers entered the pawnbroker under dubious circumstances. However, they panicked and fled by hearing the gunshots, having first made good their mess. The way you say it, we hardly sound like Rosator. We don't, Nash. We don't. Can't even make it sound a bit more cutthroat. Can't just be a coincidence that these men showed up in Windy Banks that night. There's more to the battery testimony than meets the eye, I'm sure of it. And Gregson is just there like, why am I even here? He's just there like, I'm just standing here listening to these two. Alright, press number 2. It was when we heard the gunshot. See, it's both jumping and stuff, it went flying.
Hold it!
Went flying. Not flying, we're not Italian. So what you're saying is, even though I sound like it, but I'm not. The sound of the gunshot shocked you so much you knocked all the things off the counter. Well, it shocked one of us much, yeah. The bag of nerves like a leaning and I shot it on. Look, it was loud, alright, blimey. Me dead granny would have woken up at the bang. Big bravi, I screamed like a blooming baby fell over the counter. It knocked over a lot of books, candlestick, and some skull and whatnot. I got the dang on some marionette. Got knocked over the picture frame. No, knocked them scares on the floor. You really masterworking quietly, man. What a racket. Me granny would have been scared back into a grave of clatter like that. I love that saying. So short, the gunshot took you by surprise. And in some, it means it was quite the mouse and all of a sudden, BAM! Oh.
Excuse me.
Excuse me? What is it, Gregson? Inspector Gregson, do you have something to add? Look, I keep saying I don't appreciate being lumped into these scoundrels. No, something to add to the testimony. Yep, that's what I'm talking about. That's what I mean. You seem to react just now when Mr. Skulkin said. We're Skulkin, because it's true. Did it make you think of something? It probably nothing, of course. I wouldn't even bother to mention it, only... Well, the fact this case is done gets solved, you ignore the little details. How about you just tell us what's in your mind? As you know, we brought these fellows to the ER for questioning last night, and the statement they gave is a different story of what you're saying now. Did he? Really? I don't know that. You claim you heard the victim shout something out before the gunshot. Might have, nothing about it. Now that you mention it. Granted, it was only a minor detail, but still. I can't help feeling like perhaps you've been still been stopping for testimony here at Dallas. I discovered that witness testimony have been more sloppy than Hera proved it to be. I should force to bring the harshest punishment to bear against them. Easy! We get to this time! That's it! Yep, don't coming back to me now! Then speak! Supplement your testimony with whatever details are miraculously returned to your questionable minds. Pray do tell. You are... So then we have a new statement 3. Just before the gunshot, we had a device yelling out, "Give me the gun!" New statement 3. The bloke was out when the place was holding a gun, so we had to fight instead of yelling at the gun. The bloke what on the gun was place was holding a gun, so we should have had fire instead of yelling at the gutter. Present the crime scene photo, because that is very, very questionable here. Today's paper. Pawnbroker perishes in the plunder. What's this? The sensational story lower front page of the look. Ministry mole. Classified secrets may have been leaked overseas from Ministry of Justice. Ooh! For a 10-year-old? Edie certainly has a finger on the pulse of the world news. It's about secret communication between Great Britain and its allies. Apparently they're being intercepted by hostile nations. Communications being intercepted? But when did they do that? That's the question, isn't it? Come up with the same possible method so far. Are you looking at nuclear right now? No, of course not. No. I wonder. Perhaps this is Lord Strongheart was talking about yesterday? Yes, it could be. It explained why Greg see running on the pillar a moment. Okay, so that, you have to do that. Do that. It's gonna be important for a reason. Do that, alright? That. So... that's gonna be important. Autopsy report, crime scene photographs, crime scene... We have so much fucking evidence! Holy shit! Wendy Banks, guys, Skulkin's brother, photograph of Gina. Oh my god, we're gonna have 3 pages soon of evidence. Soon we're gonna have 3 pages with more evidence added. God damn. Pushing photograph of Gina. So, photograph of Gina. The crime scene photo. So I should have fired instead of holding up the girl. Objection! So you're saying that on the night in question, the victim, Mr. Winnipeg, was wielding a gun. Is that correct? That's it, Gov. You got the picture. Hey, that? Yeah, no question. And yet photographic evidence obtained immediately after the incident clearly shows, I like being fancy, that Mr. Windybank has not holding a firearm in description. Hey, you what, mate? Gordon and Benson, it, that ain't right.
Objection.
There can only be no question the victim's revolver was used in the incident. I would remind the court that Mr. Windybank's gun was found at the scene. Not only was identified as the murder weapon, but it was found in the accuser's hand. So, yeah, the mortar leaves the victim's own gun to finish him off. Give me that gun! Give me that gun! BAM! Oh, I love the recreation. Kind of thing. Ah, that's so funny. I love the recreation. So exactly where you are, right there. Eh? If that crime had taken place in your colorful described in your testimony. Oh, that's so funny. I love that. It gave rise to undeniable significant inconsistency in the final moments you just acted out. Goodness, are you sure, counsel? Oh my god, I love the recreation. You're intrigued me, my learned friend, but let's see some evidence to support your claim. Where in the proof that demonstrates the inconsistency in the witness's portrayal of the victim's final moments? The autopsy report. No, not representation papers! Damn it, I was about to represent that for a minute, but no. That's the autopsy report. Right here. Is it gonna be updated? Because I swear to God if it is. Either the autopsy or crime scene, doesn't really matter. It can be either one of these two, it doesn't matter, but it will still be the same. So we're going to autopsy. According to their testimony, the witnesses claim to have heard a shout to "Give me the gun!" followed by a gunshot. Indeed, with the two events happening almost simultaneously, it would have been to believe. Yes, that's right. Now, if the testimony is true, it would mean that at the moment of death, the victim and his attacker would have been facing each other. However, in the autopsy report, it clearly states that the victim died instantly after being shot from behind. Ah! So, as I stated before, there is an undeniable consistency in your testimony, Mr. and Mr. Skulkin. Yeah! It's the God of the truth. It is that, it is. We were shot that night. The shopkeeper had the gun, and we saw it with our own bleeding eyes. Did I hear right just now? You actually saw Mr. Windybank holding a gun? Something like that. I might have stepped up. What? Oh, sweet God. Ladies and gentlemen, you just heard the admission by the two witnesses that on the night in question, they actually saw with their own eyes the victim wielding a gun, which can only mean that despite their testimony to the contrary, the Skulkin brothers must have encountered the victim in person. Yeah! What the hell? Order! 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 Oh God. Witness, explain yourself at once, witnesses. Well, the thing is, everyone's supposed to, It would seem that my previous warning fell on deaf ears. And made it quite clear that a false witness would be a deaf of you. I am to understand that you replaced untruths of your original testimony with renewed lies. Yes. But I'm so sorry, Governor. True face. See. Cut it out, Nash! Cut it out! Blah, blah, you know what they do to us. He? Who are they talking about? It's definitely not Van Zeek, it's someone else. Let me make a position here perfectly clear. You will talk. There is no other option available to you. Bruv, come on, the game's up. But guns for the gators. For gators. In case it hasn't quite sunk in yet. The truth will come out. Try to hide it. The truth will come out. Say it! In the night in question, now apparent that the brothers met face to face with the victim. I demand that you testify again to explain the precise circumstances under which your meeting took place. We have a lot of testimonies here. Do we have to? On pain of death. I suggest you make yourselves fully aware of this very last chance to tell the truth. Oh. Alright. Boys. Counter with the victim. Alright, well, we just got inside the gap and inside and relieved the geezer showed his mug. Give me that gun, he bellowed. Any floor doesn't really well possess, and I thought we had it. But an old geezer, that bloke was strong as an ox. He chucked me over to the counter because you're small. You're tiny. He pulled me gun and I legged him through the door in the back room. We never had nothing with killing him. That's what happened, I swear. But you're so small, he threw you over. It's fairly obvious. So you're now telling us that moments before the victim was killed in the storeroom, you in fact encountered him with the main part of the shop. Well, yeah, sorry. Well, we find ourselves in an interesting conjuncture. This changes matters considerably. But honest governor, this time, we ain't got nothing more to hide. Very well, counsel for the defense may pursue cross-examination. Yes, my lord. This is it. The moment I've been waiting for. Oh, sweet God. Alright, boys. So, you can press the 4 statements, but it isn't needed. You technically have to press statement 5, but you can press any of the 4 statements. So let's press the first 4 and have some more information.
Hold it!
When you say geezer, I presume you met the victim's bride or shop, Mr. Windybank. Who is? Sorry, I mean, that's right. We was keeping a close eye on the entrance of the gaff, obviously. We never thought no one was gonna come out of the back room like that. The back room being Pumpercree's storeroom. Yeah, that must have been where he popped out from. Only place he could have been. So it would seem the victim was already in the storeroom with the brothers into the premises. Which means Guinea must have been there at the point as well. Yeah, but that doesn't make any sense, does it? If Gina had friend Mr. Windybank into the storeroom near gunpoint, then why would he have emerged from the same room all alone when the brothers arrived? Oh, I don't know. This is odd. Did you see the accused at the time? Let's get some information. What, the mole trailer? Couldn't tell you. No way, Gabber. We had a bigger fish to fry then. I mean, the old geezer just lost it. So you have to press the 4 statements to get information. If you, this is optional. You don't need to do it, but if you want more info and at least have more context, do it. But press 5, you're actually supposed to do it. You mentioned that Mr. Windybank shouted those words in your previous testimony too. However, you claimed that you heard him yelling to the other side of the storeroom door. Oh, did we? I don't think we did. But the truth is, he was shooting his words at you, wasn't he? Yeah. Was the victim Mr. Windybank with a gun at the time? Yeah, was ever blimey low me a great ugly barrel he had pointed straight at me frontispiece. So what you're saying is, you definitely saw Mr. Windybank at the gun at the time, is that right? It's Gov, it is spot on. Then all of a sudden, came at us, we did. It was bad enough, I didn't know what was going for. You were clearly all going for each other. Like Nash said, we thought we had it. I mean. But it all geezer, the bloke was strong as an ox. He chucked me over the counter. That's funny. It's another that you mentioned the counter in your previous testimony too. Well, yeah, I gotta we did. He knocked over a lot of box, candlestick, and some score and whatnot. Got to thank all of some marionette, once knocked over the picture frame, once knocked over some scales on the floor. So in fact, it wasn't the sound of the gunshot that shocked you that made you knock those things on the counter. Well, big brother, flying over the counter like a gunshot, I can tell you, the old geezer pinned him. Oh, that's a funny scene. He did not, he did. If you got him in there, and that bloke would have flying me like a blooming pancake in seconds. At the time in question, the alarm was raised in the local police station by the secret cable from the pawnbrokery. There's a button under the counter which activated, which was presumably pressed by the victim. That's right. When the brothers fled back onto the street, they ran straight to the arrival police, didn't they? Poor Mr. Windybank. He did everything he could to protect the shop.
Hold it!
Tell me more about that. More info, context. Were you intending to shoot Mr. Windybank? Nah, never. I was just, you know. Looking out for my bra, wasn't I? Was he being flattened? Don't forget. By a man whose shop was being burglared, yes. And then the man fled into the storeroom when you pointed your gun at him, is that it? Yeah, that's it. He shot me away and then ran for the door and I shot them myself. There's something about the last remark. Something that doesn't quite ring true. I wonder if Mr. Windybank ran into the storeroom. What? Well, according to what everyone was saying, Ginny was there waiting for him with a gun. Ah, yes, that's right. Ginny allegedly used Mr. Windybank's gun to frighten him and force the storeroom open, in which case, did his gun end up in Mr. Windybank's hands again? I have no idea, but it's strange, isn't it? A little inconceivable, significant mental note for it. Look, the point is, me and my brother... That's right, Nash, that's right, me and my brother. We never done nothing to killing him. It all happened, I swear.
Hold it!
So let's press the statement. It's actually saying we're supposed to press. So you say you had nothing to do with it? Nothing at all. Nothing good. Nothing. Oh, geezer went to shut himself in the back room, didn't he? Locked it was from the inside. It was because he tried to open it. But there's a decent door to that one, good and strong, within about an inch. So in the end, the situation remains unchanged. Inside the storeroom, the pawnbroker reserved only one other person. The stall's person who could possibly shot the victim, the accused, Miss Gina, this trade. Huh. I wondered if you're so. Does say you do, counsel. I don't know. Battery! No! There was only Flyer and Gina who could have possibly shot Mr. Windybank. There could have been. In a sense, there could. Mr. and Mr. Skulkin. Get what? What's I look for? For the moment you admitted that you encountered the victim face to face that night, the course of this trial changed completely. It did? What is your point, my learned friend? The question is the answer of Mr. Shaw, Mr. Windybank, and it's the belief that the defendant is not only the possible answer at all. You have my attention. In that case, let us return to the plan of the premises. Okay. The victim was killed in the storeroom, which was locked from the inside. There are the facts, so pray, do you have a possibility to answer the questions, man reader? Counsel, you must provide the answers to the conundrums. To, my lord, twice as many chances to be right. Maybe. Indeed. Namely, from what location did the culprit shoot the victim? And furthermore, where was the victim at the time? Understood, my lord. Are you right, Reno? I'm not entirely sure, but there's one thing I'm sure about. It can prove that there's a credible alternative to what happened. It would change Gina's prospects hugely. So now, time for some clarity. Show the court his plan and answers the questions posed, his lordship. So you believe Elsa killed the victim, indicate from the person who could have fired the gun. If you believe someone could have killed the victim, indicate from where the person could have fired the gun. Right outside the storeroom door. So, right here. Pretty much like right here, right outside, actually. If you want to get technical, it's like right outside. Not inside, but like outside. Again, not outside, but outside the storeroom door.
Take that!
Outside. Defense believes the culprit could have been shot right here. And answer the second question. Assuming the location indicated of the victim at the time, inside. Could it?
Take that!
It is an odd position. The culprit shot the victim from outside the storeroom. Continue. Mr. Winnibick died instantly from a bullet wound to his back. Looking at the stained blood in the storeroom floor, it doesn't appear that the body was moved after death, which tells us that he was almost certainly shot while he was in the storeroom. However, the crucial point is where was the shooter the fatal bullet fired. So you are adamant that the shot fired outside the storeroom? Well, according to Skulkin's early testimony, I pulled my gun out of any leg in front of the door in the back room. If Mr. Winnibick ran away to the door, we have to assume that the door was opened at the time. Ah! It was precisely the moment when the victim was fleeing for his life. And the brothers had a perfect opportunity to shoot the man in the back once he was inside the storeroom. Yeah! Come to think of it, do you remember what the prosecutor said at the start of the trial? Moving on to the findings of the Scotland Yard's coroner. This report states that the bullet entered the body of the rising diagonal trajectory. And you know who's short enough? Ringo, he's short. It means that the victim was likely shot by someone significantly shorter in height than himself. Poor man. Shot while he was running fast as he could to safety. Ah, but of course, he would have been leaning forward as he ran away. So even if the bullet was fired horizontally, it still would have entered his body in upward trajectory. That's true. The culprit is necessarily someone shorter than Mr. Winnibank. I'm sure my learned friend can't have forgotten that the storeroom door was found closed and locked from the inside. You claim that the victim was shot when he fled into his room. Do you have also claimed this corpse was dexterous enough to turn the key to the lock? Ah! But, what if someone else locked the door? Yes, there is someone else who could have locked the storeroom door. Is that so? Very well then, counsel. Presenting hypothesis to the court, the scenario just described. The defense asserts the victim was shot from outside the storeroom, in which case the studs locked the door from the inside. It was Gina. She's the one that locked it.
Take that!
Obviously, the person who locked the door was the only other person inside the storeroom at the time. The defendant, Miss Gina Lestrade. That's absurd. You're suggesting that the accused deliberately engineered the sealed room? For what possible reason? This act is only certain to tie the noose around her neck. I'm inclined to agree, I must say. Well, Consul? Ah, yes, that's a tricky one, isn't it? Have big notices have no place in my courtroom, Counsel. Remember that, please. But of course Ginny would have locked the door. It almost goes without saying, doesn't it? It does? Well, if that Ginny was in that situation, I know I would have locked the door as quickly as I could. I mean, those two burglars had just fired a gun in her direction, hadn't they? Oh, yes, obviously. Before the two brothers arrived, Miss Lestrade and Mr. Windybank were in the storeroom together. Now, I don't know what went in between at the time, but at some point, Mr. Windybank must have heard the intruders breaking into his shop and left the storeroom. Intruders, eh? That's us, bruv. I love how he's like, what the fuck? If your fear is correct, I would have accused her alone in the storeroom. I love the face he makes. Yes, it would. Then, probably only moments later, the victim fled back to the storeroom, hoping to escape danger. Hit in the back by a bullet, Mr. Windybank fell to the floor where he was, just inside the storeroom. And as we have to ask ourselves now is, what would the defendant have done at the moment? Ah! I see where you're going with this! Outside the storeroom was a terrifying killer who had just murdered Mr. Windybank. As soon as death struck Miss Lestrade, she slammed the door shut and locked it, in order to save her own life.
Hold it!
Battery! We ain't the ones who done it. We got to believe us. I mean, come on, we never have shot no one.
Protection!
That's blatantly untrue. I know for a fact that you would, because before my own eyes, you shot Mr. Sherlock Holmes. There is only one logical conclusion here, and Mr. and Mr. Skulkin, your brothers have every opportunity to have been the true perpetrators of Mr. Windybank's murder. Yeah, Yay! Where does this leave us? You mean to say that it wasn't the pickpocket who shot the pawnbroker after all? I should have known it was those three brothers. They look so shady as dense forest. That was amazing, Bruno. All the members of the jury seem to be firmly on your side now. I know, first time ever. Probably the last. Well, I think you've done it. Should I have to give verdict or not? An admirable effort, my learned friend. What's this now? He's laughing? You find the situation amusing, Lord Van Zeeks. I myself find the defense argument was persuasive. I dare say. Such chinery at the bread and butter of the street performers of your provincial eastern nation. But such blatant and malicious conjuring tricks amount to nothing more than inexcusable pettifoggery here. What? The hypothesis to put forward so obscenely credibly cannot and will not stand. Because, you see, it contains a fatal flaw. A fatal flaw. Do you mean to tell me that you're unaware of your logic's failing? I say, Lord Van Zeeks, might an idea of a bally conjuring trick or whatever the troops ground them. The fatal flaw in my learned friend's argument is really very simple to understand. Assuming you're not too dim-witted to count some bullets! By George, count bullets! Oh dear. He noticed then. Huh? What's everyone talking about? Counsel? Yeah, answer! Tell the court how many bullets were found at the scene of the crime. Let me see. Okay, so alright, so we have the one that was shot so technically it was like three. If you want to get technical, it's like three different bullets. There's like 3 to 2 bullets, right? Okay, so there's the one that shot Mr. Sholmes. Then there's the one that ended up on the calendar. And then finally there's the one that ended up on Mr. Windybank. So there's 3 bullets in total. There's 3. 2 bullets. 3. There's 3. Correct. The first, that which hit the victim in the back, ending his life. And the second, that which struck the detective, Mr. Sherlock Holmes, is rebel at the scene. But what about the third? There's a third mysterious bullet, isn't there? Indeed, the defense person had this picture showing the defense caused a second bullet early in the proceedings. Yes, the calendar. Bullet which injured Mr. Sholmes appears in the calendar. Isn't there like 3 to 2? There's only 3 to 2 bullets if you want to get... There's 3? Your lordship's understanding is correct. Furthermore, we know the 2 firearms involved in the incident. The revolver belonged to the victim, Mr. Windybank, and the Skulkin brother's revolver. But wait... There's a single bullet was fired from each gun, the evidence shows. Yes, indeed it does. There's a bullet from each. But isn't there like 3? Not my learned friend. 2 to 3. You yourself told the court only moments ago. that these two brothers have Mr. Holmes right before your eyes. Yes, I did. Oh my goodness, I think you find that a single bullet was fired from the brothers' gun hit Mr. Holmes. It means when they not shot by the same gun. Stop! Only one bullet! Stop! There's 3 guns. There's 3 bullets, isn't there? Exactly. Yes, this Nipponese street performer had presented an obscurely credible argument. However, it was never anything more than a divisionary trick with no hope of standing up scrutiny. Yeah! Isn't it like 3? Fuck, I fucked it up. There's like 2 to 3. So there was 2, but I thought there was the 3rd one. I'm not gonna lie. Order! Boy! Why you... Pray forget this courtesy of flinging the dregs of this hollow nectar in the public gallery. Lord Van Zix! Oh my god, bro, stop with the... But this court needs to open its eyes. The accused, Miss Gina Lestrade, is no ordinary little girl. Despite her young years, she can, regrettably, no longer be described as juvenile. No, the person in the dock is far from a law-abiding citizen. She has passed the riddle for criminal conduct. The truth is, the accused broke the pawnbroker in the night in question, lost on intent. As we can see, beyond a doubt, is a print which depicts her threatening the victim with a murder weapon. Isn't there 3? What I have here is my possession was once more a piece of evidence the prosecution wishes to present. The music box disc! There it is! That's where it comes into play. There's our boy. I'll be taking whatever it is McGill is down the yacht. Thank you very much. No, don't give him to him. It's mine, that is. Mine. Sorry, miss. But anything belonging to McGilden has to be taken as evidence by now. Yes, the music box disc. McGilda's music box disc. The very day before the hateful murder of Mr. Windybank, the accused accepted the article, which clearly doesn't belong to her. But we checked on Mr. McGill's case file. Let's check this. I said we were gonna check this episode. We forgot to check it. Case summary. Victim found deceased in the last scheduled omnibus the day after stab wound in the abdomen. Details of victim, Mason Mervelton, male. Occupation, brickmaker, East End of London. Trial summary, Magnus McGill did Veron Vaxies and Reno Scanadahodo. Conviction was assured was witness. However, surprise fourth witness testimony resulted in acquittal due to insufficient evidence. Okay. And with none of the subsequent pickpockets by that, but brute force and brazen impotence. There's like 3 to 2. Good gracious! What's just a third bullet? Victim was taking some feed the accused of man her ears and misguided, dangerous, but there's a mysterious bullet. There are no deaths to which to go, and that stoops of punish no crime she will not commit. The court forget the fact is peril. I'm such an idiot. I swear to God. I see. I think it would be pertinent to take music box this to evidence counsel. Your greatest statement. Lord Van Ziegs! Inspector Gregson, what? Yes, Inspector. We had a meeting yesterday at the yacht with the prosecution service, and I think it was agreed that this is going to be used as evidence. What's this all about? Why is the inspector acting so strangely? That's the first time he said anything about Van Ziegs at all. I'm unaware of any such meeting. But those were the instructions right from the top. The government bigwigs were insistent. Savage prosecutor, I love you. Inspector, I'm a prosecutor, and I alone determine how to prevent my case. Your warning is noted. Thank you. The prosecution wishes to proceed with submitting this disc as evidence, my lord. Indeed, bailiff! Music box disc. The prosecution established the accused's motive, opportunity, basis of character. Hold on, let me go ahead and how about we check the blood, whose blood this belongs to. Alright, I want to do this real quick, so let's see. What blood color is this? Green! Oh, same color as the calendar. Lovely free Frankenstein green. Wait, that color! What is it? It's just that green. It's not the first time I've seen that color, is it? Okay, so that's gonna be important for later. Thank you. So we're gonna. I think I know exactly who that is. So remember the first investigation? Remember? So keep that in mind. Basis of character. There is nothing more to add. Thank you. flattery! Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, I await your informed decisions and rest my case. Oh, sweet God. I'm gonna have to change my Joy-Cons again. I don't believe it. I had the jury on my side for was all the 5 minutes! Oh dear. It wasn't even for 5 minutes, Reno. My lord! I wonder if I might say something at this point. Proceed, Mr. Foreman. Oh, sweet God. Been stumbling upon the bit my fog now, if truth be told, but all of a sudden, the answer to bail, obviously, me and my man, is only one thing for me. Oh, no. Very well. The court will hear from the jury. Oh, fuck. Ladies and gentlemen, you have essentially laid to the defendant's culpability.
Guilty. Guilty.
Guilty.
Guilty.
Oh, fuck all of you. We have consensus among the jury, it seems. When you have eliminated the impossible, what remains must be the truth. That's my line! I wrote that for Hurley! How dare you use it against us? Don't worry, Eddies. Don't think we're finished yet. There's still one we realized there must be some sort of... Gina, did you shoot Mr. Winnipeg? That's beyond the doubt. That day, Mr. Foreman, you know the jury's ready. Carry up squadron prime, ready for action, sir. Oh, sweet God. Very good. So, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, you will explain to the grounds on which you have determined the defendant to be guilty. I will. Let's-a go. Alright. Once a Rouge, always a Rouge, I say. Different breed, all about these citizens. Only for 2 bullets were to be found at the scene. This whole case is done and dusted. There's a third mysterious bullet! I call that bullshit! There's a third, and I know there's a third! I'm not stupid, there's a third. We don't need a stereoscope to see the truth here. Every which way you look at it is a pickpocket. Pickpocket sometimes commit murder, but not all the time. Never imagined that simple operation could cause Shamich's grief. What simple operation? The accused attempted the theft of the previous day. Can see if the busy day ahead. I'm a ballistics expert. I have seen many shootings. There are nothing I do not know about guns. Explain to me more about the guns, please. I need gun knowledge. I live in America, but I need gun knowledge. I barely know my guns, and I need gun knowledge, bro. Listen, I live in America. I live in the country of guns, but I need gun knowledge because I don't have any. I need it from you. It would seem that there's very little remaining room for doubt. To admit, a rather bold with argument pulled forward, a chap in black. But when it fell apart, the house of cards, I saw that jolly well been hoodwinked. Well, no more. No, Carmen turned against me. That's not fair, Edith. The prosecutor's being mean. It's just because Jeannie's done something she shouldn't have in the past doesn't make her a murderer. Allow me to savor this fruity vintage while I savor the spectacle of your fruitless debate on the matter. I love it. Here's the truth coming out eventually. Alright, let's go. That's enough preamble, counsel, purposes of examination. Let's go. Let's see what juror number 4 had to say, because he said something about a surgery that he had to do earlier. Let's check that out, shall we? Alright, let's go. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4 de la puta. Press, come here. Would you please stop muttering about things that have nothing to do with the trial, sir? The defendant's life is on the line here. Well, the thing is, I couldn't really say nothing to do with this trial, to be honest. Huh? I mean, there is no question as to shout, but the bullet simply vanished from his stomach. It's quite inexplicable, don't you think? I almost don't want to ask, but the surgery you've been muttering about this, were you operating on... What the fellow's name was? Hairlock Sholmes, by any chance? Yes, good lord! That's the Hairlock fellow! What? You're the surgeon operating on Mr. Sholmes? That's right, using very latest anesthesia. The techniques I might add is fairly major. I'll tell you. This is crazy! Let me see. The fella bred no long after midnight, if I remember correctly. They said he even shot, but it's a criminal over there, so I opened up him like a shot. But the funny thing is, I went over his insides to fine-tooth comb and find a bullet anywhere. So I'm afraid I had to throw up my hands and just stitch the fella back up. I hate to state the obvious, but... Yes? Surely that's because the bullet is still at the scene of the shooting. The counsel for the defense is correct. As clearly shows the photographic print. But wait, that's another bullet! That's the second bullet! The Skulkin brothers fired at Mr. Sholmes and stomach cruciate. That cannot be! They sighted the body lashed at the shop wall where the calendar was hanging in the door. No! I think you'll find it's really quite simple if you just consider a problem three-dimensionally. Huh? What do you think I am, son? Well, juror number 4 is the best I can do. As soon as I saw the wound in his neck, I flipped him over. Like a pancake? Are you saying you checked his back? Of course I did. And there's a trace of injury at all. No sign of the bullet had left the body at all. What? That's the point. The only logical conclusion is the bullet was known were a man's innards. Exactly what said is slicing him up. Still none of the wiser of it now. How many times do I have to say it? Can somebody explain what happened? Can somebody piss off the mystery? It's almost as much mystery as how the jury was put together. Oh god. The mystery of where the bullet ended up is infuriating. Where's the expert when you need one? I know who the expert is. I'm a ballistics expert. I have seen many shootings and nothing I can do about guns.
Objection.
These two statements clearly contradict each other. The idea that do pit the jurors against each other. Oh, ballistics expert. Pitting. On night in question, Mr. Sholmes was shot by one of the Skulkin brothers. But since there was no sign of exit wound in his back, I must assume that bullet didn't pass through him. However, no bullet was found lodged in Mr. Sholmes' body either. Furthermore, a bullet was found lodged at the wall of the shop where Mr. Sholmes was shot. But that can't be it. Juror number 6. There's a third bullet. Hello, my name is Valen. Pleased to meet you. Valen, there he is. Per contradiction, the facts is clearly troubling juror number 4. Are you able to explain the mystery? I have seen very similar situation in Motherland. I love him. It was night. There was a blizzard. I was running away along the mountain road in freezing cold. Battery, not the time! Golly. The snow was piling high on both sides of the road. There was a narrow and dangerous. My pursuers had hunting rifles and they were on dog sleds. Mental note, don't ask too many questions. I was shot from behind, and I fell down in the snow, and the situation was very similar to that I heard today from doctor. They could not find bullet in my body, and no sign of, how do you say, exit wound. Then, where did the bullet go? Bullet never hit me. Well, if it never hit you, how did you fall down? Why did you? Bullet hit frozen wall of ice very close to my side. What? One small piece, very sharp, broke away my lump of ice and pierced my body. It made a deep wound that looks like a bullet wound. Good gracious. A coarse piece of ice quickly melted inside of me, and that solution mystery is a appearing bullet. But there's no ice in this case, so it has to be something else. But that doesn't answer the question at all. The shooting happened in pawnbroker's shop. There's no ice, and now Snowy Mountain and road in another country. Just an idea, but we might not have been looking exactly the same scenario here. Reno, where exactly was Hurley shot again? Well, according to the report, his stomach, sort of, in this area, I think. Well, that's precisely where he always wears his little pouch in the belt. A pouch, actually? I might have noticed something like that. Yes, a pouch. It's where he keeps his glass vials of every dangerous chemical he uses in investigations. What? Really? Doctor, where are the pouch Mr. Schultz was wearing? Well, the fellow had nothing like that in the person when he arrived at the hospital, as far as I remember. If I may. Lord Van Zeeks? Well, I realized I've been into the prosecution objectives during the summation examination while I'm drinking my wine. I should from the defense that approach to the questions into chamber outside the courtroom. Sorry? As I understand it, the police arrived at the scene and found Mr. Sholmes injured. They removed the pouch in order to assess the wound. Ah, thank goodness! I thought I was getting forgetful at the moment. Since then, his safekeeping along with my evidence related to the case. I can personally vouch for the fact that it's not been touched since the incident occurred. Give it to me! Very well. While extremely unconventional during a summation examination, I must demand prosecution presents an item demanding question all speed. Bring forth Mr. Herlock Schultz's pouch! I see. This pouch worn by Mr. Schultz, and I had a question. It is, look at that! One of the files is broken and the lever around the storage. Almost as if the file exploded. Exploded? So, that night, the bullet from Skulkin Brothers' gun struck Mr. Schultz's pouch. So the glass file exploded and caused the fellow's injury. This bullet did not specific victim, but was deflected into Waller's shop. It can't be. A delightfully complex aroma. Well, it would appear one mystery has been solved at least. Though it has no bearing on the truth of this case. The Burgley and the Burgling brothers shot the detective and the accused shot the pawnbroker. The printed facts of the case remain unaltered. Ugh! But at least the mystery's solved. I could keep easy tonight. Thank you, young man. Thank you very, very much. Glad I could help. Can I have the evidence now? Because I want to check it out. The bank court drums are solved. The court will ask us to search the pouch of evidence. How's pouch of this scruffy? Show's pouch. Alright, so let's check this baby out. Now some initial examination. It would appear to only the defense is someone struggling with their opinion. So let's go ahead and check this baby out. Oh, there it is. What did I say? Third bullet! What did I fucking say? Should have scored badly just there. Oh, the strap is broken. Look, this must be where the bullet hit then. Let me see then. Oh, there it is. There it is, bitch. What did I say? What the? Edie's, look! Behind where the broke valves, you see? Ah, that's Skulkin Brother's bullet. Stroke of luck to the pouch. It was an amazing discovery. This means there weren't bullets fired when the banks that night. We found exactly what the juror was talking about. Third bullet! It's time to press the juror again, I think. Woohoo! We found it. Fuck yeah. So that's where it hit, and then that's the exact spot. Oh, look, there's the box. That's the information bullet hole, but clearly something ripped through the great force. Say must appear somehow left the hole in the body. Yes, it's that way. Which those pouches of beating, did they? And those are the chemicals he uses, and yeah, we found it. So what did I say, boys? What did I fucking say? There it is. There's the damn bullet. We found it. Now, let's press juror number 2. Please, my lord, a little more time. After all, this little piece of evidence, it could be valuable clue. Could afford we must guess. Still wait somehow. I'm sure of it. So let's go to juror number 2. As only 2 bullets are found in the scene, I could the whole case is done and dusted.
Hold it!
And the number of bullets has you convinced. Only 2 bullets are fired, and 2 guns are fired and were examined by the police. What if there's a third? Parliament asked committee invited a dinner, always tell the council table settings. Well, that's logical, I suppose. Although, yes, sometimes after dining, crockery does missing one to get rather than find china. Does your employer dine with thieves? So I suppose. If there is another bullet somewhere which is unaware. I do, because in my opinion, a third bullet somewhere in the scene could be possible. I can prove it! I have it right here in my possession. Allow me to show you another third bullet. Boom! Take that. There it is. There it is. We discovered it just now. Yes, one night in question when the bank's pawnbrokery. Another bullet was fired. What is this new trickery, you Nipponese conjurer? Where did you find that bullet? Just now. It was lodged inside Mr. Shelm's pouch. What? This pouch was removed from around Mr. Shelm's waist before he was taken to the hospital, and since then it was touched by no one. Do you mean to say the shot by our Skulkin brothers that night ended up there? Yes. In those simple summarize, it is the pouch. But that makes no sense whatsoever. We already know the whereabouts of the bullet fired at Mr. Sholmes. The clearly visible the photograph print. That's not it at all. That was someone else. Ah! 2 guns from the scene have already been submitted to the court record as evidence. Yes, the window bank is belonging to the Skulkin brothers. An examination of both guns revealed that only 1 single bullet had been fired from each. Oh! But that must mean there's a third. Now we not mention the third 3 bullets were fired. I told you about the mystery bullet. I'm not wrong here. However, only 2 bullets were fired from the guns recovered from the crime scene. Not until the consistency was somehow explained. We cannot and must not pass judgment. Yuck. Ah! Well, we did it. Got the 3rd bullet. Bitch. Got the 3rd bullet. Order! Order! Damn it. Well, so many examination remains incomplete. The court must present the facts. Facts will appear to shake the very foundations upon the case of the defendants have built. As in a per situation, I hereby temporarily suspend submission examination. By Jupiter! I just got a message. That scared me, but Brady went back to the stand at once. Well, this is going to be a delayed exam. Well, they're sweating bullets at the examination. You guys are literally sweating and... Governor! We're listening to proceedings while the defense carried out some examination. We was, Governor! We was! Perhaps we can dispense the tedious preamble. Simply answer this question. The 3rd bullet has been identified at the scene of the crime. What do you make of that? Make of it, Gov? I don't know. Make nothing of nothing. I can help it. Is it one of yours? Honorably, Gov! Honorably! Not the chance! In that case, did you have an accomplice? What? Never! The Skulkin brothers always work alone. Just the 2 of us with a trademark. How soon we forget poor Sulky. Only 2 of the bullets from the crime scene originated from the firearms we have in evidence. The 3rd bullet was fired from another gun. Where is it? Lummy. That's sad. That's a head scratcher. Battery! Shut the fuck up! Counsel for defense? Yes. I would like to hear your thoughts regarding these new developments. The third bullet, a mysterious missing firearm and whence it came. Thinking back over testimony we've heard, the evidence we've seen, I think it's starting to form a picture of what really happened that night. My lord, I think it's clear the bullets tell us about Skulkin brothers. There's a secret accomplice. They had another gun, nothing to do with them. There was a secret accomplice. That's pretty clear. On that night, Winniebank's pawnbroker must have been working with their man. You're sweating bullets, motherfuckers! I know you are! Was are clearly doing their best to cover up the witness to their accomplice. But the evidence all points to the fact that there was someone else present, someone carrying a gun.
Objection!
Might is like the fifth something. An accomplice, you say? Pig smell. These practical proceedings have always forced us to endure two examination examinations. Yet in all of that time, there had been not a murmur of a third man in this apparently rift-like existence. The court was to show hard evidence. Without it, this fantasy will be crushed. I think I have an idea who that blood on the calendar could be. Egbert Benedict, right, boys? Part of confusion of the man's answers to the cute counts. Firstly, proof, evidence. The accomplice was never to see the crime. The secondly, identity of a suspicious character. The Skulkins are lying, and I know that. But how can I certify that a person murdered? Well, counsel, I think I know exactly who it is. I'm supposed to prove the existence of the accomplice and the person's identity. Response to the demands by Lord Defense is ready to present answers. Let's unmask this man! The defense is ready. And I can provide all the answers the prosecution demands. So, my Nipponese friend, despite the swimming eyes, you seem to think you have something to say. This promise is really interesting. I have to push forward now. There's no other option. I need to answer every single piece of evidence available to me to make a difference. Let's go. In that case, counsel, I would also present evidence without delay. On the night in question, the moment leading up to the death of the victim, what proof do you have that they're an intruder present at the scene? Blows up with portfolio.
Take that!
The image is right here, this portfolio. By Jove, the portfolio again, is it? Do you expect the court to raffle through your papers itself? Be more specific. You claim that when the blood samples proves the presence of the third intruder. Which one was it? Not him. Not him. It's this one. It's either the third or first sample, but we're gonna go with the first sample. The green blood. What am I looking at here? There appears to be some green paint such like a bullet hole on the calendar. That's bloodstain, my lord. Bloodstain? Green blood. Curious, even for you. As the court to understand, the intruder is some unhuman creature. It's something developed by Herlock Sholmes. But you great detective? New invention. Stop. Get out of here. Stories. Stop. SCCC. It doesn't have a name yet, though. The fogger sprays chemical that reacts when different elements of people's blood changes color. Different elements of people's blood? Yes, everyone's blood is slightly different, you see, because it's made up of different elements. By seeing what color changes, you can tell if flesh whose blood it is. Oh, that brings a whole extra dimension looking at blood. Talk about blood in courtrooms. Stop. Very exciting. Stop. As an example, this was shown from Winniebank. Ah, striking blue. And this mysterious color. Yes, as you see, the green color of the bloodstain in the calendar shows the bloodstain. Someone was at the shop at the main part. Shop. Hold the fire there, young man. Could it be from some unrelated incident? Could it be? No, it's not unrelated. The date showing the calendar is the date at which Mr. Winniebank was killed. By golly! Therefore, we can assume that whoever was shot on the same day. Then whose blood was it? Well, the Skulkin brothers still stand to appear suffering from any gunshot injuries. Which means it was blood of somebody else, a third intruder, in fact. Whose identity could the court still be waiting to hear? Can't delay any longer, my learned friend. Who is the alleged intruder? A young English gentleman of aloof, a high-handed manner appeared when Winniebank's pawnbroker accused Eugenia of stealing his representation ticket. Egbert Benedict! Can I have some Egbert? Can I have some Eggy Benedicts, please? The man's name is Egbert Benedict. Egbert Benedict! Why on earth were you talking about the council? He paid a visit to Winniebank's pawnbroker in the afternoon before the incident took place, when the accused attempted to deceive the pawnbroker into releasing the article in possession. That's right. The man identified by the defense, Mr. Egbert Benedict, that attempted to take the article from the defendant by force. And his blood was smeared on it too. So his blood. Broker! Yes, sir! Let's see. I believe this filthy pocket thief just redeemed the article from you, no? Yes, the article in question belongs to me. I demand it returned at once. Now that's a lie. What are you trying to pull? Give me back my overcoat, you rascal. And let's say... And your music box disc too. And he got cut. Inspector Gregson was there at the time and can attest to what happened. In the end, it was the inspector himself who took the disc. Can you corroborate his account, Inspector? Yes, my lord, it was more or less a habit. The intent of being shown, asked Windibank to print show on the fellow. 11 a.m. Taken from the one the red-handed recorder, Grubbin's scubbiness. Yes, that's him taking talking to Windibank in the morning. And you claim this man is brother's accomplice. Well, Mr. and Mr. Skulkin. Oh, you sweating? You sweating? Never seen that geezer before in my life! On me life, Gov! On me life, never seen them! Well, somewhat unsurprisingly, it appears that witnesses disagree with the assertion. I'm sure your lordship recalls my learned Nipponese friend's actual assertion, which was that they could prove the identity of the alleged accomplice. Yes, I can. Then show us the evidence! I agree, we must prove that a clean-cut gentleman to prove the filthy criminal as you say he is. This is the last piece of evidence. I've had a feeling something been missing from the trial at the very start, but now I'm going to drag a kicking and screaming to the courtroom. Are you ready to present it, counsel? Yes, my lord. The defense will present it. Proof that this picture photographic was the same person wasn't their bullet. You can either do the blood samples or present the means with this, but let's go with the blood samples. Sample number 4. Proof that is right here in his portfolio. Oh, good gracious, counsel! Does the portfolio contain the answers to every question possessed? I see you share my interest in clear-colored liquids, my Nipponese friends, but... Enough. The court demands to see further evidence. Did you sample you provide? Number 4.
Take that!
And mentioned before, the afternoon of the day in question, the defendant has accepted dutifully immediately to reclaim the disc from Windibanks, which is the aforementioned Edgar Benedict appeared at the scene, I believe. This man attempted to purloin the article from the defendant's possession, no? That's correct, my lord. Myself was at the time. I was following this as the minor incident occurred. But of course, sir, here's a disc for you. Very well. Benedict. Then I shall bid you farewell. Say goodbye to style. Wait a minute. That disc. It's mine! Battery! I knew it. I knew that was going to happen. I'm not wrong. And there's the other battery. And whatever, fuck it. Let's go for it. I found it. Got it. That was simple. What do you think you're doing, little tramp? You've drawn blood, you filthy animal. I got it. Just, thank God I'm near Joy. Thank God I'm near the dock. Thank God I'm near it. Big music box to see was kind of small but sharp metal precisions over its surface. Those precisions caused Mr. Benedict's fingers to bleed. And the resulting smear of blood is so visible in the disc now. Goodness, a bloodstain is it? My assistant and I have announced the bloodstain here in the very courtroom. Using my trusty fogger gun. Yes, and we added the results to the portfolio. I say, it's green! It is exactly the same color as the blood around the calendar. The evidence is conclusive. The man calling himself Mr. Edgar Benedict was at Windibanks earlier in the day. And the accomplice who was present at the scene of the crime that night. So there was someone else there. Look at those two brothers, they're sweating bullets. Oi, what you talking about? It's boiling in here! My lord, is opinion of the defense that Mr. Edgar Benedict should be summoned to the courtroom to testify. It would certainly seem that it could afford to ignore the defense apparent presence.
Objection!
This has gone on long enough now. This flagrant ignorance of the mechanics of law. Herlock Sholmes, you say? Yes, I've heard the name. The protagonist of a series of short stories for the vocal classes, a god of detection or some such. And now you employ chemical substances devised by the fantastical persona in the highest court in the land. Do you expect us to take you seriously? The samples made by this plaything are not fit to be called evidence. So the bloodstain turned shade of green. What of it? Here's you successfully proving that the blood in the world would turn the same color. Ah, well. And pray, do not even think of suggesting that we should take Mr. Sholmes' word for it. Oh! Is he right? Is Mr. Sholmes' concoction a load of rubbish? I don't know. I mean, he is a great detective. What are you talking about? We can't let him get away with it? I knew it would come to this. Of course, Mr. Sholmes' invention isn't going to be recognized in any official body. But what other choice did I have? I'm just remembering what Father Christmas over there said before. Father Christmas. How was he temporarily suspending the simulation examination? Ah! In other words, the examination isn't over yet, is it? Good grief! Did you say, young girl? In examination, the decision is whether or not the trial continues. It's in the hands of 6 jurors, isn't it? So in the way I see it, it doesn't matter what certainly does people think of Hurley's invention. At least, not for now. Yes, she's right. Young lady, you have quite a devious mind. It really just comes down to one thing. That's what it is, ladies and gentlemen, the jury. I was convinced what you say, Bruno. Is that about right, what you say? Was I misunderstanding something? Unbelievable. Mr. Sholmes' partner is a force to be reckoned with. Edith Wilson, sharpshooter. Mario, come here, my boy. Oh my god. The shoot presents the situation entirely expect the source. It must be acknowledged the previous examinations yet to reach a conclusion. This is absurd. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, the court now looks like free finally is the matter. As process of Her Majesty's Britain, I'm sure he will come to fair and just conclusions. So then, state your final decision in turn, please.
Not guilty.
Not guilty.
Not guilty. Guilty.
Guilty.
Not guilty.
What? What are you talking about? Oh, this is new. Well, not everyone agreed. This is new. It's kind of crossed. 2 called guilty, not 4. Such is now come for the submission examination. My lord, with all due respect, this is an outrage. The prosecution refuses to accept this decision. On what grounds? If these jurors are persuaded by some half-baked concoction devised by pretending real police work, then they're too eager to be trusted with judgment of anyone's guilt. I'm sorry, Lord Van Zieks, but the outcome of this examination cannot be ignored. The trial will continue. Ah! Well, I'll split this up, and then we'll start the third and fourth parts in next episode. So we'll start those. Nevertheless, we find ourselves in a rather awkward situation. The defense has reasonably requested a subpoena of the witness. But sadly, I fear that'll be impossible. What? The name of the gentleman gave for himself, Egbert Benedict, is clearly quite false. I don't believe it. Just when I managed to prove the man was there that night. Can I say something? Who's that, please? Who spoke? It was me, my lord. Juror number 5? What do you have to say, madam? If possible, Inspector. Me, madam, ma'am? I wonder if you might show the photograph print to me again, the gentleman shown. Right, yes, this one, you mean, of Mr. Benedict. Yes, there's no doubt in my mind. Juror number 5, you don't mean to say, you know this man? Yes, I know him. What? No! God, good gracious! Order! 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 Juror number 5, how on earth? I'm a communications officer. Stop. As we can clearly see. The gentleman is in the photograph is, stop, a communications officer. Also a communications officer, stop. He works in my office, stop. A very talented operator, in fact, stop. You should be in communication station now, stop. Typing away in the telegram, stop. This doesn't seem right. Somehow I kept my finger on Y, but it doesn't feel right. I suppose the other imagined accomplice will be some sort of hardened criminal. It's a bit unexpected to find out he's a respectable job by day, whoever gets up at night. Yes, I suppose that is. I suppose that's why I felt something was wrong. If the gentleman is in the London communication station, we should be able to subpoena him in an hour. Lord Van Zieks, if you please. Yes, my lord. Make the necessary agreements in all haste. As your lordship bides. The court will recess for 1 hour. Then, when the new witnesses arrive, we shall reconvene to hear the gentleman's testimony. Inspector Gregson? Yes, my lord. I'd like to hear from you specifically about the events at Pawnbroker today in question. Come to my chambers during recess. Yes, sir, my lord. Very well. The court is adjourned until 1:40 p.m. Well, whoo, things are getting turning crazy, aren't they? But we're gonna end it right around here. And and next episode we're gonna start the third and fourth parts of the trial. So we're almost done. We're pretty much almost halfway there already. We're halfway through the trial, so we're halfway through. So anyway, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please subscribe, subscribe. Over next, we're gonna go ahead and start the third and fourth parts of the trial. So yeah, and we're gonna end the game. So that's gonna be the final. So this final case of the game, we're gonna end it. Pretty short, huh? So yeah, see you guys then.